Why is it that some people seem to have this innate ability to do awesome things like play by ear or write their own songs, or even switch between different instruments, whereas other people seem to struggle and always be stuck? To me, the difference, the missing link, is music theory, right? That's what enables you to write your own songs better, to improvise music, to play by ear. All of this stuff comes down to understanding the language of music. Music is a language, and music theory is just the way that we understand that language. So I'm excited you're on this video, stay tuned, and let's get into it. Now, the first thing we gotta talk about is the big elephant in the room, which is why do so many people struggle with this? Right? A lot of people have tried to dip their toes into music theory, maybe you're one of them, and you come away just feeling totally confused and totally disoriented. Well, I think what most people are missing is a big picture understanding of what we're even trying to do, right? We need a game plan, we need a map. Otherwise, we're just diving into this huge, vast ocean of music theory and not knowing what the game plan is. That's why I want you to make a commitment to yourself right now to stay through this entire video. It's easy to get distracted, it's easy to get lost in the weeds, but if you stay through this video, you're gonna have the tools that you need to finally get this stuff. And I've taught this to tons of people who say, I've always been confused about this and I finally have had the light bulb moment. Super quick disclaimer, there's always exceptions, there's always times where rules get broken, there's always more advanced concepts, but for today we're just keeping it simple and we're just doing the fundamentals. Let's start today with the big picture. This is the first section. So the big picture to me just boils down to one simple equation, okay? Songs equal melody plus chords. That's it. So all songs are just melody and chords put together. Let's dig into those two elements a little bit more, starting with melody. So melody is simply the part of the song that you would whistle, hum, or sing. It's the thing that most of us think about first when we think of a particular song. So for instance, if I play this, Mary Had a Little Lamb, that's the melody. Now on the other side of the equation are chords. And all a chord is multiple notes that happen at the same time. So maybe I'm playing 3 notes at a time, 4 notes at a time, and it just sort of makes the bed underneath the melody. Now let's go to the piano and I'll show you why you need both of these elements. Let's start with this melody and see if you can recognize this. It's a little bland, I kind of just walked up and came back down. Well, let's listen to some chords on the left hand. Does this sound like a song if I just go? No, not really. It just sounds like some chords, right? But as soon as I put them together, check this out. It turns into Beauty and the Beast. That's the power of having both melody and chords. Let's do one more example. Let's say I wanted to play some Katy Perry, and if you just heard the chords to this song, it could really be anything. If I played just the melody, it sounds good, but it's a little bit empty. As soon as I put them together, it becomes a full song. Check this out. All that to say, we really need both melody and chords to make a full song. On piano, very often the right hand plays the melody and the left hand plays the chords, as you just saw. But it doesn't always have to be that way. Let's say someone's singing and playing guitar. Well, the vocals would be the melody, the singing, and the guitar would be supplying the chords. So there's all kinds of different ways we could have these two elements, but they're always going to be there. That's it. That's the entire game plan. All we need to do to be able to understand music theory is to be able to understand melody and be able to understand chords. I really want this video to be applicable whether you're a pianist, guitarist, producer, songwriter, whatever you are. I want this to apply to you. But it's important that we have a basic understanding of the piano just so we can talk about this stuff and be on the same page. So for now, I'm just going to throw a quick graphic up of where the piano keys are. We have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And lastly, we just need to make sure that you know about sharps and flats. So super quickly, a sharp is where you go up from a certain note, and a flat is where you go down from a certain note. For example, here's A, If I go up to this key, this is A sharp. I could also do A and go down to what would be A flat. Alright, another very basic element of music that we have to talk about is something called intervals. An interval is just talking about the distance between two notes. For example, if I go 1, 2, that's a second. If I go 1, 2, 3, that's a third. And some people think of that as a skip, right? I'm skipping a note. I could keep going, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, just think of seconds as steps, and think about thirds as skips. That's it for the overview section, and what we talked about is that songs are just melody plus chords. We talked about the layout of the piano, and we covered sharps and flats, as well as our intervals.